Rhonda Geet, wedding photographer in the San Francisco Bay Area and beyond. And I am doing a video blog series with some of my favorite people. And one of my favorite people is here with me today. This is Tamika Gardner. She's with All Things Simple, a fabulous wedding planner who has planned numerous weddings for lots of happy couples all around the Bay Area.
Yes.
And today we're talking about a special topic called Encore Brides. So some people might know what the term Encore Brides is, but could you give us kind of a definition for those who don't?
Sure. An Encore Bride is anyone that's getting married for the second time and beyond.
Okay.
I think one of our most famous Encore Brides is Elizabeth Taylor, who's gone down the aisle quite a few times.
She is very famous and fabulous, and she
Yes.
can go down the aisle as many times as she wants, even now.
Even now.
If anyone could do it from beyond, it would be her.
It would be her. So she's definitely set the precedent.
And she would do it in grand style.
Grand style.
Grand
Thank
style.
you, Miss Taylor.
Thank you for everything, especially the jewels.
And the perfume.
And the perfume. Okay, so in planning a wedding, what are some things that an Encore bride may need to consider that a first-time bride may not?
One of the key things is bringing in the blended family, because a lot of times within second marriages we've had kids. Now, that's not to say that first-time brides don't have children. They need as well. It's a little, so in that aspect it's about the same, but that is one of your first considerations to think about is the family.
Okay.
And then the next thing would be, do I invite my ex or not to the wedding?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's come back to that
Sure.
one. Okay, great. Do you find that Encore weddings are bigger, smaller, or about the same size as a first-time wedding?
I say they start out thinking that they're going to go small. Oh, I just want something simple, just me and a couple of friends. But what ends up happening is it gets pretty big. and I think a lot of times it's very personal. It's a personal preference. And one of the things, for instance, if you had a small wedding the first go round, maybe the second time you want something a little bit more grand.
That is true.
Maybe the first time your family wasn't able to attend, so now you're able to incorporate. They're able to come this time. So there may be some differences in terms of what happened the first time. The only thing I would suggest is please don't wear the same dress. Please don't have it in the same venue.
Oh, yeah.
And yes, so those are and please don't use the rings from your previous.
But that's for anyone. Like, no one should use rings from previous. Like, if he was engaged to someone else and he uses the same ring for you, that's a sign. Just no matter what time you're.
Not a good sign.
But how many times you've been married?
A couple of things to consider there.
Not good. Okay. What are some common questions that Encore brides ask you?
One of the first questions is, can I wear white? And you can wear whatever color you like.
That's nice.
Yes, white, that tradition of, wearing white, you have to be a first-time bride or a virgin to wear white. I think that has gone long time ago.
So you can do any style, any color.
Any style. You can go short, you can go long. I mean, that's the beauty of being a second bride, is that there really are no restrictions.
Okay.
The one restriction is wearing a veil that covers your face.
Okay.
You can still wear a veil.
Like in the back.
In the back.
Like the long, huge cathedral trains that I love.
If you want that Princess Diana train that you've always dreamed of, go for it.
Yes, that is true. What other questions?
Oh, should I invite my ex? That's one of the other questions that comes up quite often.
Yes.
And with that, it's not a good idea to invite your ex. One, because the wedding day is about you and your current spouse. Mm-hmm. And inviting your ex could cause a little uneasiness, at the wedding. And we have to think about it that a wedding is a blending of new families coming together.
Okay.
So when you have your ex there, you've already had a family with that ex. Not to say that they're no longer part of the family, especially if you have children together. But you now want to celebrate with your new family and make them feel welcome and comfortable. So.
Okay. So basically, don't invite the ex because you don't want any of the little whispers of the new family.
Exactly. You know, and just kind of that, well, what is she doing here? And then it becomes about them, and it's not about the day.
You want to be focused
on the day, yes.
On the two that are getting married.
Exactly.
But kids, definitely invited.
Oh, definitely invited. Definitely include the kids.
Okay.
Find in unique ways to involve the children, because I think it's really important to involve all the children on both sides, because a lot of times these marriages have blended families. There's children on both sides. I have a friend that they are now like literally a Brady Bunch. Really, I mean, she has 3. Yeah, and it's all boys. So he has 3 boys, she has 3 boys, and now they have 6.
That's a lot of boys.
It's a lot of boys.
That's a lot of boys. Wow. Well, how are some ways to incorporate kids into an Encore wedding?
One of the ways is they can, if you have small children, maybe a little cute little girl, she can be the flower girl. I've had one wedding about a year ago where she had older children, and her son walked her down the aisle. I know, that brings goosebumps.
I know, it does.
Yes, it was so beautiful. That's one of my favorite shots, was to see her son walking her down the aisle. But you can also have both. If you have 2 children, you can have them walk you down the aisle. Another way to incorporate children, especially small children or even adult children, maybe a piece of jewelry that they can always have with them, and you can present it, have a special part of the ceremony where instead of a unity candle. Unity candle.
Or the unity sand.
Or the unity sand. You can bring the family together as a unit, and maybe present with a necklace or a bracelet or a framed picture. I mean, it's whatever is going to be special that they can look at and feel special as part of the family.
Aw, I really like that.
Yes.
And then, why should an Encore bride hire a wedding planner? Because don't they already know, I like this, I don't like that, and kind of know what to do since they've already been through it?
This is so true. That is very true. I will say that I don't think that's any different than a first-time bride, because you think about the first-time bride, she probably had a binder this thick that she's been collecting since high school or sooner.
Or Pinterest.
Lots
and lots of boards.
Exactly.
On Pinterest.
So they have ideas. I think one of the things that's important is that usually as an Encore bride, we're a little bit more mature. So we have high-powered jobs a lot of times, and so it takes on average 250 to 300 hours. Yes, 250 to 300 hours to plan a wedding. Hours.
That's a lot of planning.
It is.
How do you do that, juggling work, a family, another family that you're trying to... How do you do that?
Well, this is the world of multitasking, and everyone attempts to do that. But to relieve some of that stress, hiring a wedding planner would be a very good thing to do, I would suggest.
And then what types of tasks would you take off the plate?
For one, as a wedding professional, we have a lot of contacts within the industry, so we can help cut down that research time and making all those phone calls to, are you available? So we can cut that time down.
Okay.
And because we already have our nice a database of vendors that we've worked with, we've already taken some of the steps out, and that's a lot of hours that can be relieved.
And who are reliable too.
Exactly, because we've worked with them before.
Correct.
So that's helpful. And then the other thing is that it takes a lot of time to put together a timeline of your day, from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. Right. I mean, that's an average wedding is anywhere from 12 to 16 hours. I know myself, I'm on site at least 12. In my contract, I contract 14 to 16 hours.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a lot of time.
Well, because I'm there when the rental company comes. I'm there when they pick up.
Yes, so like all the pre-stuff that no one sees. Like you just show up and it's all done.
Exactly.
Oh, and you take care of that.
Yes. And so
and the cleanup.
And the cleanup.
Which
I don't
is
clean
so
up,
worth
but yes, it is. It's totally there. You definitely want
Just
to make
for
sure
that.
yes. And one of the things to think about is that a planner can come in at any point within the planning process.
Okay.
It could be a full planning, partial planning, or month of.
Okay.
So at a minimum, I would suggest hiring a month of coordinator, a month of planner, and that person usually comes in. We usually come in anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks prior to.
Okay, so not like true month of. Like 6 to 8 weeks is
Yeah,
like 2
like
months
about
out.
2 months out, just because it
Yeah.
gives us time as a planner to go do a venue visit, because we need to see the venue prior to. That gives us time to communicate with all of the vendors that are involved in your wedding, send them out, and then as we're creating timelines, we want to be able to have all that information prior to send it out. So to get involved in all of that, it's best to do that at least 2 months out at a minimum.
Okay, but it's called month of.
It's called month of, even though you will see a lot of terminology out there. They're called day of coordinators. There is truly not a day of coordinator, because there's no way that you're going to come in on the day of and manage everything. You at least at a minimum will be in a month of.
Right, because if you just show up on the day of, you don't know who the vendors are, what the contract terms are.
Exactly.
The timeline.
Exactly.
So, yeah, okay.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Tamiko, it was so great having you here today talking about Encore Brides.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Oh, anytime. This is Tamiko Gardner with All Things Simple, and I am Rhonda Geet with Rhonda Geet Photography, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Bye.